Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rikakadash, and double honor to those great millstone while learning this truth, and also to the whole elect that is scattered abroad. I'd like to say shalom, and come back here today with another great, powerful lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So the title of today's lesson is Civil War is Coming to America. So I'd like to say shalom to all our listeners. I hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So a lot of tensions is constantly arising. We're seeing that all of the signs of the times is here. We're seeing that, they're constantly bringing out these unrighteous decree, inflation, constantly we're seeing that America is constantly collapsing all around us. And we knowing that the hour of temptation is right upon us. And everybody, it will be neighbors against neighbor, brother against brother, sister against sister. A lot of things are getting ready to happen. They're already talking about a race war. A lot of things are happening. People are turning against the government, just like the Bible said. And also, in the news that whereby, they went to Trump house and they raided his house, the FBI, and everybody was saying with rumors that they will go and try to cause an uprising. And everybody, the men of the Lord, we constantly warning you left and right. And everybody, that we are here. It is at the door. All hell can break loose at any given time. And everybody, we constantly warning you left and right. So civil unrest, uprising of the people. It's all around. Insurrection. And everybody, a lot of people are constantly waxing colder and colder each and every day. And everybody, we seeing that the signs of the times are here. We seeing that, Biden already issued a lot of different bills that came out. You know what I'm saying? We're not ignorant of Satan's device. And everybody, that, things are going to get worse before they get better. And everybody, we're in that transition of power. We constantly warning you left and right. We are here. It is at the door. So the title of today's lesson, once again, is Civil War is coming to America. So we get started. One moment. We get started. One moment. We get started in the book. We open up in the book of Matthew chapter 21 and verse 22. One moment. Matthew chapter 24, and we'll start at verse 21. And it reads, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. Verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be short. So that everybody, that we're coming upon that great tribulation period that we've never seen before. We're seeing that, they constantly bringing down all these weird bills, like the Inflation Reduction Bill. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in that bill, if it passed, it's saying that they will issue 87,000 IRS agents to be coming to your home. You know what I'm saying? Auditing you. You know what I'm saying? Taking your possession. A lot of things are happening. You know what I'm saying? So there'll be sedition among men once that happens. They're already talking about taking your guns. And about a lot of things are coming down the pipeline. Biden had made another announcement today about the semiconductors. Nancy Pelosi went over to Taiwan, so that didn't really go well. So tension is constantly flaring throughout the entire world. Rumors of war are all over the place, and now that we're having civil unrest right here, aka Babylon the Great. It's going to be great. It's going to be a time of trouble that we have never seen before. And we constantly warning people left and right. We are here. It is at the door. And everybody, that civil war is coming to America. So right here in our own backyard, a lot of things are getting ready to happen. And everybody, that great tribulation period that we have never seen before. Jacob's trouble. So now, let's get another quick precept. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12, one moment. Matthew chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12, and we'll start at verse 25. Matthew chapter 12, one moment. Matthew chapter 12, and we'll start at verse 25. And it reads, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Verse 26, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And everybody's there, that's exactly what's happening. We're seeing that that, you know, this nation is divided. We seeing that, you know, civil unrest is all around it. We seeing that, you know, all of the signs of the times are here. We seeing that evil time of trouble is right upon us. And out about it, these unrighteous decrees, these mandates, you know what I'm saying, these different unrighteous decrees get ready to come upon us, you know, universal dictatorship, and also that implement of the RFD microchip. It is here. So we seeing that America is divided. We seeing that the government and the government officials, you know, and also the citizens of America, they constantly against one another. And out about people are unhappy. A lot of people are thinking about, you know, civil war, are thinking about race wars. A lot of things are coming down the pipeline. And out about, you know, hyperinflation. The prices of the food are high. People, you know, seeing that, you know, it's going to be food short. A lot of things are coming, you know, at a fast pace. And we warn you, it is about to get real. So now, let's go to Isaiah chapter 19. One moment. Isaiah chapter 19. One moment. Isaiah chapter 19. One moment. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2. And it reads, it said, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Let's read that again. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2. And it reads, and I will set Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So that is getting ready about to happen. We seeing that, you know, that they keep coming with all these different bills. You know, the reduction, what is that bill? The reduction. I can't think of it right now, but you know what I'm talking about. They talking about these semiconductors, you know, bringing them, you know, into play. That what the CHIP Act. So we already know what that CHIP Act is leading to. That's leading to what the RFD microchip, which in fact is what Revelation chapter 13. You know what I'm saying? We knowing that. You know what I'm saying? That we're close to this time. And that about that, you know, we got to prepare. We must watch, pray, and be sober. And that about civil war is coming to America. You know, it's coming at a fast pace. We're seeing all of the signs of the time. And that about it is here. And talking about what, once again, the IRS agents, you know what I'm saying? That, what is the name of that? It's the Reduction Information Act. I think that's what it's called. So that is about it. They're getting ready to try to perform their enterprise. So the devil is getting ready to make his move. So that about it, you must have your head on the swivel. You must be redeeming the time. Why? It's because we are living in these time, real time. So now, let's go to one moment. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter, just a quick live. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, one moment. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, one moment. And verse 14, we'll start there. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14, and it reads, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Verse 15, for the sword in their destruction draws nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. And that about it's going to be a time of trouble that we have never seen before. You know, the military going to be involved. It's going to be a lawless time. You know what I'm saying? So we're seeing that it's getting ready to get real. We're seeing all the tension. It's constantly growing in America, and that about it, you know, it's going to be great. And that about it, though, when you read about it in Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1, the archangel Michael will have to stand up for the children of Israel. So that supernatural intervention is getting ready to come into play. So when the enemy coming like a flood, when you read about Isaiah 59 and 19, you know, when the enemy coming like a flood, you know what I'm saying, the Lord is going to lift up that stand. So that about we must trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. So now let's start back up at 2nd Ezra chapter 15. And verse 16, and it reads, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go in a city and shall not be able. So that about it, when these unrighteous decrees come down the pipeline, that about it, you know, you will not be able to leave your home and stuff like that. They're already saying about what emergency, public emergency, a public health emergency, you know what I'm saying? So that about it, this monkeypox, you know what I'm saying? This Marburg virus, and that about it, saying that, you know, at any given time they can call martial law. So that about it, you know, these things are coming into play at a fast pace, and that about it, that hokey pokey is getting ready to come back into play. So that about it, you know, so we must watch, pray, and be sober, because we are living in these times, real time race war. So it's going to be a lawless time, kill or be killed. So now let's start back up in 2nd Ezra chapter 15. We'll start back up at verse, one moment. We'll start back up at verse 18. And it reads, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because the lack of bread and great tribulation. So that everybody, they're already saying they're going to have food shortage. Already said that rolling blackouts, a lot of things are coming down the pipeline. And everybody, saying when they come in, they were talking about that they're going to audit everyone with this IRS deal. And everybody, a lot of people are like saying hey, we got to get prepared. And everybody, a lot of people are causing a lot of uprisings, especially what that went on with Trump down in Florida when they raided his house. And everybody's rumors of that they're getting ready to come together and try to start a civil uprising. And everybody, that's exactly what they want. We're not ignorant of Satan's device. So let's get that right quick. Let's go to get a quick precept. Let's go to 2 Corinthians, one moment. Just a quick live through the Spirit. 2 Corinthians chapter, one moment. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. And it reads, said, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Let's read that again. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. And we seeing, that he's trying to get that advantage. So you're seeing that Biden had called that he's trying to bring this chip bill into play. You know what I'm saying? These semi-conductors, so they can produce more and more chips. And we knowing that this leading into the RFD microchip, which in fact is the mark of the beast. We're not ignorant of Satan's device. And the devil is trying to get an advantage. And he's trying to cause this order out of chaos. And to try to perform his enterprise, this new world order. It's right around the corner. And is that, we must redeem the time while because we're living in these times, real time. So now let's go back to 2 Ezra chapter 16. One moment. Just a quick lesson through the Spirit, just going off the Spirit. 2 Ezra chapter 16. One moment. 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse. We'll start at verse 70. A little bit more edification. And it reads, for there shall be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Verse 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. So that everybody said when that time of trouble comes, when they call this martial law, whatever the reason may be, they're already talking about the PSAs in New York, in California. A lot of things are coming down the pipeline, so that everybody, we must get prepared. And everybody said the only way you will be prepared, it's coming under that total subjection. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of the time. And everybody, we know that civil war is coming. And everybody, that's exactly what they want. And everybody, Egyptian against Egyptian, it's going to be a lawless time. And everybody, it's the only way, and the only answer is Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, food shortage, rolling blackouts, hyperinflation all over the place, and everybody, the devil is getting ready to bring that wrath down. And everybody, we constantly warning you left and right. So now, let's go to one moment. Let's go to let's get another quick precept. Let's go to Job chapter 14 and verse 5. Job chapter 15. One moment. Job chapter 14. One moment. Job. One moment. One moment. Job chapter 14. One moment. Job chapter 14 and verse 5. And it reads, says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bound that he cannot pass. Let's read that again. Job chapter 14 and verse 5. And it reads, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. thou hast appointed his bound that he cannot pass. And that he's seeing that his time has come. And that we knowing that the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. So we seeing all these things that he's coming up with. These semi-conductors, bringing that bill into law. The chip, you already know what that's talking about. And that we seeing that this reduction in inflation act is coming into play, whereby they will want to implement 87,000 IRS agents to come to your house with armed officers with them. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody, they feel like you owe them money. They're going to try to take you and feed you things being idle, taking you to a FEMA camp, places like that. So we're not ignorant. We're seeing that all these things are lining up. We're seeing that all this hell is getting ready to break loose at any given time. Civil war is coming to America. And that about all sorts of chaos, great death, great destruction is right upon us. So now let's go to one moment. Let's go to one moment. Let's go to Matthew chapter 21. Matthew chapter 21. Matthew chapter 21. One moment. Matthew chapter 21 and verse 22. One moment. Now, Salakia, Matthew chapter 10. Matthew chapter 10, we'll start up at verse 21. Salakia. And it reads, say, and the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against the parents and cause them to be put to death. Verse 22, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endures to the end, the same shall be saved. So that everybody, we're coming upon that time, and everybody, the same that endure, the same shall be saved. So it's going to be a great tribulation period that we have never seen before. Your own household will be your enemy, and everybody in that time, you know what I'm saying? So, the Lord said, the one that fear the Lord, they're going to come down a sedition among men. They're going to be just like madmen, coming sparing none. And everybody, young, old, you know what I'm saying, even infants. And everybody, it's going to be a time that we have never seen before. And everybody, it is about to get real. We're seeing that the devil is getting ready to make his move. He's getting ready to make his strike. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, we seeing it is lining up like clockwork. We're seeing these rumors of wars all over the place. And also in Denver, Colorado, they saying that it was flooding there. So, it's flooding going throughout the entire way. It caused all sorts of chaos. So tensions is constantly rising. And everybody, a lot of people are angry. And everybody angry with the government. And everybody, so all hell is getting ready to break loose on both sides. And everybody, that it would be no peace. So now, let's go to one moment. Let's go to one moment. Let's go to Revelation chapter 13. Something I want to get out of here. Revelation chapter 13. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. Revelation chapter 13, and we'll start up at verse 16. And it reads, it said, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, say he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that has the understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600. It's 603 scores and 666. And everybody, you seeing that he passed that bill, that chip bill. And everybody, we knowing that got RFD microchip written all over it. And everybody, will not be able to buy or sell. So they're going to start manufacturing the chip in America. And everybody, they want no longer deal with Taiwan. And everybody knowing that, that war is brewing over there. We at the brink of World War III. And also Jeremiah chapter 15. Jeremiah chapter 51 is getting ready to come into play. The enemy is getting ready to come in like a flood. These UN troops are getting ready to come in, these Gerger troops, these super soldiers, all this AI, this technology they get ready to use upon us. And everybody, they get ready, come down. You know what I'm saying? This red devil is getting ready to lose his mind. And everybody, it's going to be a time that, you wish you wasn't even living. But that everybody, the Lord said all these things will happen right before his great and glorious return. So that everybody, we must rejoice, ye heaven, because we are living in these times, real times. So now, let's go to one moment. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 9. One moment. 2nd Ezra chapter 9. One moment. 2nd Ezra chapter 9. And we'll start at the top at verse 1. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. And it reads, it said, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the sign pass, which I have told thee before. Verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. And everybody, let's see, verse 4, and it reads that, then shall thou well understand that the Most High spoke of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So that everybody, we seeing uproars of the people, civil unrest. A lot of things are coming down the pipeline, left and right. And everybody, that, you know, we constantly warning you left and right. We seeing all of the signs of the times are here. And the end is what? It's being manifest. It's being made clearer and clearer each and every day. The prophecies are constantly rolling. And everybody ready in our backyard. You know, all these things are getting ready to happen. They can call a martial law any given time. You know, as they tell you, you must stay in your house. And everybody, you cannot buy or sell if you don't have that, you know what. And everybody, all these things, we are very, very close. And everybody, that civil unrest, you know what I'm saying? Rumors of what? Race war. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things are happening. You know, and this nation is divided. A nation that is divided cannot stand. So now, let's start back up. In 2 Ezra chapter 9, we'll start back up at verse 5. And it reads, for like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and a end, and the end is manifest. And that about the end is constantly manifest right before our eyes. And that about we seeing all of the signs of the time is here. And that about is that, so the Lord is moving through the earth. We seeing all the chess pieces are coming together. And that about it, we seeing it, like I said before, that that semi colliders, you know what I'm saying, which in fact have what? That graphene oxide in it. We can't talk about it too much or they'll pull the video down. But that about it, we are here. It is at the door. And that about it is that, hey, it's a time of trouble that's coming. You know what I'm saying? A lawless time. Jacob's trouble is right upon us. So now we get our last and final script. Just a quick lesson through the Spirit. Let's go to Luke chapter 21. Luke chapter 21 and verse 28. Luke chapter 21 and verse 28. Luke chapter 21 and verse 28. One moment. And it reads, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws nigh. Let's read that again. Luke chapter 21 and verse 28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws nigh. So that about we read upon that time. The Lord is getting ready to return. And that about we seeing that our salvation is very close to we yet believe. Even though we get ready to go through a time of trouble that we have never seen before. But the Lord said he will step in on our behalf. That supernatural intervention. And that about we knowing that civil war is coming to America. When you read about it in 2 Ezra chapter 16, 2 Ezra chapter 15. Also Ezekiel chapter 38, war is coming to life left and right. So all the Bible prophecies are lining up like clockwork. And that about it, we seeing that we are here. It is at the door. So Bible prophecies are pumped left and right. And that about it, if you do not know what time that we're living in, you're going to be destroyed. And that about it, that we seeing that great depth, great morning is right upon us. And that about that civil war is coming at a fast pace. They can call martial law at any given time. And also you must watch the water. They already had a couple of clips out on TikTok that that they're putting I think the polo virus once again, and they urging you to get the so we're not ignorant of his advice. So he's trying to get that advantage, and out about he's moving at warp speed, and out about we constantly warning mental law left and right, and out about it we are here. It is at the door. So the kingdom of heaven, it is at hand. So the title of the daily lesson once again is Civil War is Coming to America. So I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rikakadash. I like to say Shalom, Shalom,